Welcome to the Solopreneur Movement Podcast. My name is Bruce Sloan. I'm the founder and director of 90 Day Sales Manager. And I just want to remind you, we have a pilot version of this podcast. If you haven't had a chance to go back through and listen to it or watch it, I share why we're starting this solopreneur movement, this community of like-minded people. And just a reminder, a solopreneur is an individual person who is completely in charge of their daily business. And typically, they're the sole proprietor of that business. They're in charge of the sales. They're in charge of the operations. They're in charge of the marketing. They're in charge of all the different facets that it takes to go out there and start and run and grow a business on a daily basis. You know, I believe everybody needs a coach in life. I believe that trained people always outperform untrained people. I also believe that when it comes to a solopreneur, a plan should be easy on paper. I believe a lot of us need to get back to the basics of a business, or a lot of us don't even know what the heck we should be doing when it comes to running a business. That was me when I first launched my business. And so that's what this community is all about, is for us to mastermind and to share ideas. So if you haven't had a chance, go to the Facebook page, the Solopreneur Movement. We have a private Facebook group for us to go out there and share videos and ideas and messages and opportunities, and heck, even do business together when it comes to this. Obviously, we can't grow if you don't grow, and this podcast isn't about me or 90 Day Sales. It's about this community of like-minded people. So please share it out there. Let's really start this solopreneur movement to where we have millions of people that are out there growing their business, because guys, at the end of the day, there are more people than ever before that are solopreneurs. And what that really means is there's more resources and more tools than ever before that allows us to go out there and be solopreneurs. However, that creates a lot of complexities. It creates a lot of confusions. And so I want to help you as the solopreneur. I want to give you permission every single week to hit pause. If nothing else, for 10 to 15 minutes every week to hit pause and focus solely on you, the individual producer, when it comes to growing your business. How do you find, package, and sell your special? You know, I've gone through as much schooling as you could possibly go through, having a PhD in human performance. Or what I've realized is the education system doesn't do a good job of creating entrepreneurs and to help people find, package, and sell their specials. So that's what we're going to do every single week when it comes to this Solopreneur Movement podcast. I want to bring you relevant information, whether it's through my own self or through other people in the interviews that we do as we go through this process. So today's podcast, today's episode is about the whole salesperson. And I want to start here because, you know, I've had the pleasure of coaching and studying tens of thousands of people over the last decade of my life. And what I've realized is there are 5 missing structures, 5 systems, 5 habits of highly effective salespeople that a lot of us don't have when it comes to a systematic process. And speaking of systems, how many times in a day or a week do you say, I need a system for that? And it's typically around these 5 areas. Number 1 is having something to say in any first conversation that does not commoditize yourself. The number 1 question we all get asked in sales is, what do you do for a living, by strangers? And most people literally say what it is they do for a living, and it commoditizes themselves in the very first conversation. It doesn't attract versus chase. And so I want to help you find, package, sell your special, like I said earlier, and that's around your beliefs. What do you believe, and then why do you believe it? Your belief should be a 5 to 10 word statement. You know, I opened up the podcast and I said, I believe that trained people always outperform untrained people. That is my calling card. That is my motto. That's really my tagline for my business and how I live my life. And where does that belief come from? It comes from my unique past and my unique struggles and my experiences and my mentors and my education. And so the reason I believe that is like I said earlier, I've studied and coached tens of thousands of people. All top producers have a great coach, teacher, trainer in their lives, or a mentor, right? And so because of those beliefs, now I launched a 90 Day Sales Manager program that really helps people in commoditized industries as solopreneurs go out there and accelerate their business growth. And so hopefully you guys can see how that's much different than me just saying, I'm a life coach, I'm a sales trainer, I'm a motivational speaker. You know, I told a little bit about my story. You know, I'm a former college athlete. I have a PhD. I've studied and coached top producers my entire life. And so I want that same thing for you, is to help you tap into your unique past. Instead of being a commodity, which is what most people do, I'm a big believer that having something to say is just as important as having somebody to say it to. Most people in sales and business want to start out with lead generation and prospecting, and that is very important. I'm not saying that it's not. However, most people don't have anything to say in that very first conversation that articulates their value, that attracts versus chases business based on their beliefs, based on their story, and based how they can better help people compared to the tens of thousands of other people that are in your market and in your industry just like you. And so that's the first part of this, okay? The second part then gets into the lead generation and the prospecting system. How do you proactively prospect every single day? The point of any business is to create a customer. A lot of people ride the sales roller coaster because they're not proactively prospecting every single day. So I developed a selling system. You know, when I launched my business, I didn't have a selling system. I didn't know what the heck to go do. I moved from Nashville to Denver not knowing a single person. And within the first year of my business, I had 1,500 people organically in my database. And that was through proactively prospecting. That was through really having a scoreboard. You know, I believe everybody competes harder when there's a scoreboard. I believe we all need some kind of level of accountability and systems when it comes to prospecting. And so I have 10 categories of people. You know, I'm not going to go through all 10 categories, but just know this. There are really 4 types of conversations I have every single day. Number 1 would be new business conversations. Number 2 are my favorite people conversations. Number 3 are my connector, which are really my business, my referral partner conversations. And then number 4 are my future business conversations around people who quite aren't ready to buy yet, but they're going to be ready to buy at some point in the future. And so those are the 4 types of conversations that I have every single day. And we have a whole, the 4hourworkday.com. If you go there, you can get the whole breakdown of this selling system. But I do believe that most people are not proactive with their prospecting. You know, sales is a game of probability. There's a reason why the same teams and the same franchises consistently win every single year, guys, or they're in the running to win every single year. And that's because they have systems and they're proactive and they have great culture and they have discipline and they have all these different things that they go out there and do every single day to grow their own team and the culture and their success. It's the same thing for your business when it comes to being proactive with your prospecting. You got to have a coordinated and calculated attack every single day to go out there and grow your business and be disciplined and accountable to a selling system. The third habit then gets into the fortune is always in the follow-up. You know, I believe now more than ever, the biggest missing structure for most people is time block, which is really time management, and follow-up. And most people go 1 or 2 or 3 weak attempts in their follow-up system, and it sounds something like this. Hey, just checking in with you. Can I answer any more questions? Right? Guys, that's not a touch with value. I'm a big believer in a 7 to 10 touch system that's a touch with value every single time that moves the needle in their lives. Money changes hands when problems are solved. How do you articulate how you can solve their problems based on their needs or their wants? Okay, and so I'm giving you permission to get tougher in the sales cycle, which comes down to the follow-up system. You can't be afraid to go for no. You can't be afraid to challenge people. You can't be afraid to really ask for the business through a 10-touch system. You know, statistics tell us it takes 7 to 15 touches 80% of the time to close the business. And I tell people, you know, all the time, all these bad stories that I had when I launched my business about how I was following up with people. You know, I would say things like, hey, I'm checking in with you. Or I woke up thinking about you. And I said that to a woman once. And I was like, man, how creepy is that? Please, may I never say that ever again to somebody. And so that's where I built in a 7 to 10 touch follow-up system that's really automated. That way it doesn't leave you guessing and you know exactly what you should be doing when it comes to your follow-up process. So those 3 habits that I just went through, having something to say, which is your opportunity statement, having a proactive prospecting system, and having a follow-up system, that's all built around the sales side of your business as a solopreneur. Then we get into the service side, which is your operations, which is your unique customer experience. And usually when I say unique, I do air quotes when it comes to that word, because a lot of people say I'm in the referral business and all these different kinds of things. And then I ask them what makes your product or your services unique, and they really can't tell me. Okay, so I'm a big believer in how are you onboarding your new clients? How are you truly delivering on a world-class customer experience that gets you three things, three rewards for your business? It gets you referrals, it gets you reviews, and it gets you repeat business. Referability is when great people tell other great people how great you are. That all comes down to the mindset. Every day in my current job, every day with my current client is an interview for my next client. Guys, that's the unique customer experience that you should all be in every single day when it comes to your operations. Because again, there's a lot of things that goes into running a business, whether it's your sales or your service side of it. But we as solopreneurs need to marry these things together to truly build a referral business for you for the long term. The last habit then gets into the marketing side of your business. The good news is we have more resources and tools than ever before that we can leverage. The bad news is most of us are confused about all the different things that goes into marketing. And I'll tell you this, most people spend too much time on their marketing. I believe you can't have $1 million brand with 50-cent packaging. However, you got to build up the branding and the marketing. And your marketing is never going to be quote unquote perfect. But the point of any business is to create a customer, which gets back into the sales and the service side of your business. However, marketing is truly important for you to build a sustainable business to attract. Money follows attention. People use the first person they talk to 67% of the time in business. That's marketing 101 when it comes to all the different resources. All you're trying to do is get more attention. The number one challenge for small business owners is overcoming obscurity. It's not that you're not really good at what you do. It's that not enough people uniquely know who you are, what you do, and how you can help, especially for all my friends in commoditized industries like real estate and mortgage and title and insurance and financial services and personal trainers and chiropractors and attorneys, right? It's not that we're not really good. It's that we need to get more attention. So that's the marketing side of your business. Self-promotion isn't evil. It's necessary in today's world. I want to give you permission to go out there and humble brag on yourself to get more attention through all these different tools and resources. And guys, at the end of the day, these 5 habits, every single one of them is built around your mindset. Again, that's why we're doing this podcast. That's why we're starting this Solopreneur Movement podcast, is I want to help you build, maintain, and protect your greatest asset, which is your mindset and your confidence every single day when it comes to growing a business. So I hope these 5 habits, these 5 systems, this overview helps you think about the missing structures in your own business. And we do have a free download. You can go to 90daysales.com/free-webinar to get the full 5 habits. It's basically a 30 to 45 minute where I actually break down systematically these different habits and these different tools. So I want to leave you with this. Again, we can't grow without you. We can't start this solopreneur movement without you. So if you haven't done so yet, go to the Solopreneur Movement page on Facebook and request to join our private group. And make sure you subscribe to this podcast and share it out. And guys, I'm going to leave you with this message. Trained people always outperform untrained people. Stay focused on the impact and the influence that you're going to have every single day through your products and your services. I really do appreciate you.